Xin kính chào quý vị khán giả của đài SBTN. Kính thưa quý vị, tôi là Phan Trọng. Hôm nay là một chương trình rất đặc biệt. Đó là chương trình chúng tôi xin được phép giới thiệu đến quý vị những thế hệ trẻ thành công trong cộng đồng của chúng ta. Người khách mời hôm nay chúng tôi có nhã ý được mời đó là ông Trúc Đỗ và cháu Kim Anh Đỗ. Xin chào anh Trúc và chào cháu Kim Anh.
Xin chào.
Kính thưa quý vị, người khách mà chúng tôi mời hôm nay là một trong những sinh viên của trường Võ bị Hải quân Quốc gia của Hoa Kỳ. Và em hiện nay học năm thứ tư của trường Võ bị. Và hôm nay chúng tôi được mời em lên đây để em tâm sự và nói chuyện với quý vị về những sinh hoạt của em. Nhưng trước khi vào đời sống của em Kim Anh, chúng tôi xin được mời ông Trúc nói sơ về 5 cái ngôi trường Võ bị có thể nói là lớn nhất Hoa Kỳ và thế giới. Xin mời anh Trúc.
Dạ vâng, cảm ơn anh Trọng. Dạ xin kính chào quý vị. Thì để Trúc sơ qua về 5 trường Võ bị là vì Trúc có 3 cháu hiện đang học ở trong 3 trường Võ bị này. Thì cho đất nước Hoa Kỳ đó thì có 5 trường Võ bị. Trường nổi tiếng nhất đó là West Point, là trường đó là của Army, thì nó tương đương giống như là trường Võ bị Liên quân Đà Lạt của Việt Nam. Và sau đó là có trường Võ bị hay là Không quân nằm ở trên Colorado. Còn Võ bị của Hải quân như cháu Kim Anh học á, thì nằm ở bên Annapolis. Thì 3 trường này đó là trường nổi tiếng. Ngoài ra còn có những cái trường là Coast Guard Academy là trường võ bị của tuần duyên, và Merchant Marine là võ bị hàng hải. Thì tất cả các 5 trường này đó Trúc nói đó là nổi tiếng nhất trên thế giới, là anh Trọng biết làm sao không? Là vì hàng năm đó những trường này họ chỉ nhận có 12 học sinh từ những các nước đồng minh của Hoa Kỳ thôi. Mà những người này đã mà được nhận vào trong trường võ bị của Hải quân hay là Không quân hay là West Point đó đều phải là nổi tiếng, giỏi và được recommended của tổng thống của nước đó, thành ra rất là nổi tiếng.
Wow.
Dạ.
Wow.
Dạ.
Cảm ơn anh Trúc rất là nhiều, và phải nói là gia đình của anh rất là đặc biệt. Anh chỉ có 3 cháu thôi mà cả 3 đều đi đến 3 trường võ bị lớn nhất của Hoa Kỳ. Chúc mừng anh chị.
Dạ, cảm ơn anh. Dạ.
Trọng sẽ có những câu hỏi về anh với gia đình để mà anh chia sẻ cái kinh nghiệm dạy dỗ các cháu. Nhưng mà trước hết là xin được giới thiệu đến cháu Kim Anh. Hello Kim.
Yeah, hi. Con xin phép nói tiếng Mỹ để cho bạn hiểu.
That's great.
Yeah,
Thank you. We
yeah.
can speak in English.
Yes.
So, welcome home. This is your home. This is
Yes.
where you went to high school and now in the
Yes,
academy.
feels great to be back.
Feels great to be
Yes,
back.
yes, sir.
Especially eat Vietnamese food, right?
Yes, I had Vietnamese food last night. It was amazing.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, sir.
So, let's talk a little bit about your class.
Yes,
The
sir.
uniform you're wearing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So right now, as said earlier, I'm a senior at the Naval Academy, and every year, the uniform changes. For me, I'm a senior, so the 3 stripes represents my rank at the Naval Academy. I'm a midshipman lieutenant, and I hold a brigade level staff position at the Naval Academy. The more stripes you see someone wear means the more position they have. Yes,
so
sir.
the rank equate to captain?
It equates to lieutenant.
Right.
Lieutenant in the Navy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you're a senior. Talk to us a little bit about the subject that you study.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As many people know, cyber is a very important part of the future of this country.
Right.
My major at the Naval Academy is information technology, and so I study the art of computer science. I program, and that will actually be my career following the Navy as well, which is an information professional officer.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, sir.
And share with us a little bit about the experience that you have being selected as one of the special team, the cybersecurity team,
Yes, sir.
to compete internationally, and the outcome of that competition.
Yes, sir. So a big component of the Naval Academy is fostering the idea of competitiveness, and that translates into cyber. One of the biggest competitions they have is called the Cyber Defense Exercise. It is typically hosted, it's hosted by NSA, the National Security Agency, and actual hackers of the NSA Red Team will hack into different service academy network run by midshipmen or cadets,
right.
And your job is to defend the network the best that you can. Of course, the hackers will get in because they are the best, the NSA. My youngster year, so that would be my sophomore year at the Naval Academy, I had the pleasure of being able to compete with this team at the Naval Academy, and we were able to win. and we came out on top amongst the 5 service academies, and we had the pleasure to meet the President of the United States that year as well.
Wow, wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
I know that at the academy they train you not just academically.
Yes, sir.
Because they train you to become a great leader.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're involved in this different kind of sports.
Absolutely.
So show and share with us the typical day at the academy.
Typical day. The great thing about the Naval Academy that I think separates us from different colleges is the discipline that they want to instill in all of us.
Right.
Every day starts early. There's no such thing as sleeping in at the Naval Academy. Most of us wake up around 6:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier if you want to work out or get work in. Wake up at 6:30. Morning quarters formation goes at 7 every single day. We have to go to classes. We go to classes from about 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 p.m. in the afternoon. During noontime, halfway through the day, we go to lunch, and you see the videos. You can search it up. There's new meal formation almost every single day.
Right.
We stand in formation and we walk in to go eat.
Yeah, I saw some of your picture.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There's every single day, and we finish classes around 3:30. After that, everyone heads off into what they call sports period, which is athletics training period. And following that, we go dinner, and then we study until sometimes very late in the evening, and we go to sleep and repeat the next day.
7/24. I mean,
of course there are days. Of course there are days when we have time to relax. The weekends are ours. However, if you're in a sport, I play ice hockey at the Naval Academy, so the weekends will be taken out to travel for hockey, going to games, doing competitions, studying. So, and of course we get spring break and winter break and a lot of time off quite frequently.
So you are the average Vietnamese in terms of size. How do you feel being like 6 feet plus in the hockey team?
Unfortunately, I'm actually one of the smaller people at the Naval Academy, but I'm very used to it.
But you're not afraid?
Oh, absolutely not, sir. You cannot be afraid of being a physical delinquent at the Naval Academy. You don't. The thing is, at schools like that, they don't care. They don't care what size you are. They don't care what color skin you have. In the day, they care about, can you be a good leader? Can you be a good officer? Exactly, sir.
In fact, like good thing in small
packages.
Exactly.
And in your class, Derek, he's smaller than Kim.
There are Vietnamese
he's very tough.
males at the Naval Academy who are smaller than me.
Wow.
There are Vietnamese American males who are
So
smaller.
both your daddy and me have a chance.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely. Anyone has a chance. You just have to have determination. Yes, sir.
I know that you are a Christian.
Yes, sir.
How is religious life at the academy?
Religious life at the academy is incredibly important. As you heard earlier, it gets very difficult. And I'm far away from home. I live very far. My parents can't just come visit me anytime.
He's a very holy man, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you go to church
yes,
on
sir.
Sundays.
Faith is extremely important. I found that going away to college, my faith grew much more deeply. But I've also seen a lot of people who detach themselves away from their faith going away to college. And not just at the Naval Academy. I have a lot of peers who went away for civilian college, and I saw their faith fall apart. But you have to make a commitment and say, I want to deepen my faith, and that's what I did at the Naval Academy. And I've had amazing opportunities. They do Catholic pilgrimage at the Naval Academy. I've been able to go to Rome twice now in my 4 years and be able to learn about the history of the Catholic faith.
Sorry, anh Trọng có biết là every time Trúc Quý Trình go and visit her at the Naval Academy, and they have a chapel right inside their dorm.
Yes.
And Bancroft is the second largest dorm in the world. And they have a small little chapel in there. And amazingly, every time we come in, we see the midshipmen kneel down and pray before they go into class. And that will impress me so much about their religious in there.
Dạ, chú biết không, tối nào á, 10 giờ tối á, con mà không có học á, con đi xuống chỗ đó để con đọc rosary.
Yeah.
And con xuống đó có mấy đứa bạn, mấy chục đứa ngồi ở đó.
Wow.
Cầu
Người
xin.
Mỹ họ rất là religious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naval
They have
Academy.
good faith.
Yeah, you just have to make
Right.
a commitment and say I wanna be there for my
Right.
faith.
You know,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a civilian working for U.S. Air Force. I visit the Pentagon several times,
Yes, sir.
and every time that you can catch a daily mass inside the
Yes, sir.
Pentagon.
There's daily
That's
mass at
cool.
the Naval Academy as
Yeah.
well. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Exactly.
That's
Yes, sir.
amazing.
They make a huge part to incorporate that into our
Right.
lives because it is part of
Right.
growing up and developing ourselves into
Right.
an officer is finding what anchors you and finding your strength, and I think faith is a big part of that.
And that's what I call a total package education.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So
Oh,
you
absolutely.
almost graduate.
Yes, sir.
Now you look back in the last 3.5, 4 years, you say, what is your toughest day at the academy that you can recall?
Toughest day.
Competition,
I would have to
physical
say.
stamina.
I would have to say it would be my first day at the Naval Academy, the very
Yes.
first day. So there's a day.
Yes.
My dad he's laughing because he remembers this. It's called induction day at the Naval Academy. You know, at normal civilian colleges, your first day is actually your favorite day because you meet all your friends. But induction day at the Naval Academy, they take you out of your civilian clothes. They give you all of this new military stuff. You're running around. They're these upper class screaming at you, and it's your indoctrination day into the Navy and into the military. That was the most difficult day for me, and that's the day you say goodbye to your parents.
Yes.
And you enter plebe summer,
Yeah.
which was 8 long weeks, and but after that first day, everything gets so much better. You meet
Wow.
your new classmates, you make new friends, you learn about the amazing place that is the Naval Academy, and every day after that honestly, it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And theo như Trúc nghĩ đó, ở trong Service Academy đó, giống như Kim học nó khác với lại college bên ngoài. There is no, every day is not an easy day,
Right.
but you get a lot of fun out from that, a lot of những achievement out from that. But the toughest day is cái ngày đầu tiên.
Ngày đầu tiên.
Không phải Kim Anh không khóc mà là Trúc lại khóc.
I bet.
Yeah, I think seeing your parents and seeing your family
Yeah.
leave you for the
Yeah.
first time,
Right.
it's difficult because you know in 8 weeks you're going to be a different person.
Yes.
I've grown up with, at that point, 18 years with my family
Right.
in Dallas, Texas,
Yeah.
you know, and I was with them very close. You know, con gái Việt Nam,
Yeah.
con thương bố mẹ,
Yeah.
con đi xa như vậy. It was hard, but
Right.
I'm a better person for it, and I'm so happy that I made that choice.
You know, the American used to talk about sailor. All of them is cursing and have tattoo, and I bet
Oh.
it doesn't happen to you.
No, sir, not me, not me at all. But it's a life choice that you
Yes,
make. You just
exactly.
say,
Yeah.
"This is the person I want to be," and
Right.
if you're a good officer and you're a good person, people recognize that, and you
Absolutely.
don't need to have the tattoos. You don't need to swear
Absolutely.
to make yourself
Yes.
fit in.
How big is your class?
My class, relatively large. We have 1,000, about 1,000 people
Wow.
graduating.
Yeah.
The number fluctuates every year. Some people,
Right.
drop out. They realize the Naval Academy is not for them.
Right.
But about 1,000 people graduating.
We'll talk to you some more about your life at the academy, but let help benefit the Vietnamese children out there who
Yeah.
aspire to become a Naval Academy
Yes, sir.
attendees like you. Let's talk a little bit how we prepare for that.
Right.
From high school.
Yes, sir.
A little bit.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Just some background on my high school experience. I graduated Plano East Senior High School in 2013, which is local.
Right.
And you can look up online. There's a lot of requirements you need to meet, but I will tell you the most important thing is they look, as you said earlier, the total package.
Right.
You have to be someone who challenges themselves athletically, academically, in leadership areas. I was involved in community service. I did Salvation Army. I've made food for homeless people at Salvation Army. I was incredibly involved in high school. I had very good grades. I was a National Honor Society. I held leadership positions. And the Naval Academy really cherishes people, high school students who do that, who challenge themselves, who really take a step beyond their peers and say, I'm going to push myself.
Right.
So I think that's a big component of it, is just making sure you find every single opportunity to develop yourself in any area that you can.
Right.
You know, I took AP classes. I played ice hockey, of course. A lot of leadership experience before going into the Naval Academy as well.
So that's the team sport is one of the requirements, right?
Not necessarily team
Not necessarily,
sport,
okay.
but they do want to see someone who is challenging themselves. I think team sport weighs heavily. You know, the Naval Academy is similar to any other colleges that they do recruit athletes as well. You know, a lot of my friends at the Naval Academy are recruited. You know, we have basketball players, swimmers. I have squash.
Right.
One of my classmates is a squash player, and he was recruited to play squash at the Naval Academy. So it's really any avenue that you can. There are many avenues to get into the Naval Academy. You just have to show interest and really put in 100% effort into everything that you do.
That's good in terms of prepare academically,
Yes, sir.
physically. What about spiritually and mentally?
Spiritually,
I mean,
I would say that you have to be okay in your faith to realize, you know, the military is not an easy place.
Right.
You have to accept the fact that, you know, I don't want to sound morbid, but there might come a day when I have to take someone's life.
Right.
You make difficult choices in the military.
Absolutely.
And it's tough on your spirit, and it's tough on your body and your mind and your soul.
Right.
And I looked, you know, I talked to God a lot before coming in. I said, you know, give me the strength to, you know, so that I can become the person that you need me to be in the Navy. And young people out there, they need to realize, like, it's not an easy place, but it is. You're doing the Lord's work.
Right.
You know, absolutely.
And going to cybersecurity, you basically exploring a new territory, right?
Yes, sir.
The whole new territory that
Yes, sir.
You know, protect the
Absolutely,
safety
sir.
of American
Absolutely,
citizens
sir.
out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anything you like to share with the young folk out there in terms of preparations and?
I will say the Naval, if you don't know much about the Naval Academy, or you don't know anything about any of the service academies really, or the military, just do research, ask questions, look online. It never hurts to ask, because there might come a day when you're, you know, say you do something in your life, like go to a civilian college, and you say, like, wow, I really wish I had, you know, just went online and looked up the service academy, and maybe I'd tried the application. I would tell them just to try, look at it, you know, do your research. Don't just immediately say, I don't want to be an officer. That doesn't sound fun, or I don't want to, you know, run around all day. Do your research, because there's a lot of misconception, I think, very prevalent in the Vietnamese American community, which is that
Naval Academies grad like yourself.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many of us. There's so many Vietnamese Americans out there. There's an organization now with Vietnamese American military service members who are, you know, they do everything they can to promote the future of Vietnamese American in the military, and they give you really good resources, and there's so many people that are willing to help and mentor. So I would tell young children out there, do research, ask questions. Don't just immediately say, oh, it's not the life for me, because you never know. You never know. You know, I can tell you, if someone had told me, oh, you're going to go be a midshipman one day at the Naval Academy in my freshman year of high school, I would have said no. I would have been like, oh no, I'm going to stay local here in Texas and go to UT or UTD or something like that. But things change. God has a plan for everyone, and if you show that you want, just show a little interest, and you say to yourself, maybe I want to challenge myself a little bit.
Yes,
You know,
it's
it'll
also
come.
important, like parent as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like, parent, like, we cannot like force the kid to do things.
Exactly.
You know, like as a parent, you know, mình cái trách nhiệm của mình là mình phải cho con cái nó biết nhiều những cái options out there. Tại vì anh Trọng biết không, ngày nay đó có nhiều em khi đang học năm lớp 1, năm lớp 2 ở trong college bỗng nhiên quyết định bỏ học lại join military. Đó, thì đó là một cái, nó không phải là một cái chiều hướng bây giờ nó đang xảy ra, thành ra mình là bố mẹ mình phải cho con cái nó biết trước những cái option khi con cái còn học lớp 9, lớp 10. Đó, rồi để cho các cháu nó tự quyết định.
That's a very good advice, Chúc. Let's talk a little bit about, I know that a lot of people I talk to when they join the military, they join to serve.
Yes, sir.
They don't join because of any kind of benefit.
Right,
but attending the academy.
Yeah, let's
is
talk.
one of the best,
Oh.
the most expensive education for free.
For free.
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents have saved so much money sending the three of us. Look, if you want to get a full scholarship studying whatever you want, go to the Naval Academy. You get the best education
Exactly.
that you can find anywhere. Our school recently, the Naval Academy was ranked second to MIT for math and science in a curriculum. There are so many resources. You get not only free education and free dorm and food and everything, you get amazing opportunities, internships.
Right.
I've interned with GE. You can intern with NSA. You can intern with amazing organizations that normal civilian colleges don't
Right.
do. Or on the Navy's dime, they send you, they fly you places. I've been all over the world, and I'm 22 years old. And I never paid for any of it. I've been to Vietnam this past summer, and the Navy paid for me to go back. Been to Japan. I've been all over the world, and you get amazing opportunities, and a premier education.
Yeah.
You know, all
Yeah.
paid for by the Navy.
Amazing.
Dạ,
It's
mà
incredible.
anh Trọng biết không, nó không có một cái số chính xác nào á là chính phủ sẽ spend bao nhiêu tiền cho một cái midshipman.
Yeah.
Nhưng mà đó người ta phỏng đoán á, là khoảng chừng 400.000 đến 450.000 để
A lot of money.
Yeah.
một
It's a
midshipman
lot
trong
of money.
4 năm.
Right.
Đó
And
là
you pay back so
Yeah.
you pay back 5 years
Right.
Yeah.
after graduation as a naval officer.
Right.
During that time, you get paid
You get paid
as a naval
Right.
officer.
You have a career.
You have a job.
Yeah.
I do have a job going
Yeah.
out, and the salary is
Right.
very good. You can look online.
Yeah.
It's it's not like working at a big tech firm for 3 figures, but it's pretty good money, and you're doing a great career.
Yeah.
You're serving your country
Right.
and working with
That's-
amazing
yeah,
people.
that's
And
the
even
key
now-
thing. Yeah, because that's the key thing, because that's the patriotism.
Yes,
Đó, cái đó là
exactly.
cái record mà các em nó hy
service.
sinh 4 năm trong academy, 5 năm phục vụ. Đi vào trong cái record của các em đó, về sau này về già, về long term á, nó help đời con cháu tremendously.
Exactly. Exactly. And as a Vietnamese American, we in debt to this country.
Absolutely.
Yes.
For freedom, for a
Right.
wonderful life. And
Huge.
thank you for you guys.
Thank you so
help
much.
us to
That
return.
was a huge reason why I
Yes.
joined.
Yeah, I could
the
cry
Naval
because
Academy.
thinking about that.
It's